Today, let's talk in depth about a very important topic that is often confused by appearances. Is guided freedom of speech real freedom of speech? This is the profound revelation that TikTok has given to the world. We don't talk about empty theories or pile up scary terms. Let's start with the recent news that seems full of contradictions. Trump, who once vowed to ban TikTok, has now extended its life again and again. The White House has announced that the president will sign an executive order this week to give TikTok another 90-day grace period to find a new owner. What is the mystery behind this drama? How does it reflect the most fundamental dilemma of our time like a mirror? Please give me a little time, I will unravel the mystery for you and use a story to dismantle every step of this chess game. This is not just about the survival of an app, but also a prophecy about what kind of information world we will live in the future. First of all, we must understand why TikTok is so powerful. Imagine that in the digital world, an unprecedented magic amusement park suddenly appeared. The most amazing thing about this park is that it has a mind-reading director, that is, its core algorithm. You don't need a map or a queue. As soon as you walk through the gate, the director seems to know everything about you. Do you like exciting roller coasters or dreamy carousels? Do you crave laughter or need comfort? The next second, the road to your favorite project is automatically paved under your feet. Every second you stay, the mind-reading director understands you better, and the next project presented to you will make you want to stop. This park has attracted hundreds of millions of tourists around the world, and in the United States alone, there are as many as 170 million users immersed in it. It is not just entertainment, it has become a lifestyle, a huge cultural magnetic field, and even a career that many people rely on for their livelihood. This is the charm of TikTok, an extremely personalized and infinitely addictive content universe. Its success is a victory for algorithms and a victory for humanity. But the problem lies precisely with this mind-reading director. In Washington, there is a group of political elites who call themselves National Security Watchmen. As they watched the increasingly large magical amusement park, they did not feel jubilant like ordinary tourists, but felt two deep fears, two nightmares that were enough to shake the country. The night watchman knew that the headquarters of the amusement park, as well as its mind-reading director, or the ultimate control of the algorithm, belonged to a Chinese company, ByteDance. What they are most worried about is that there is a huge secret filing cabinet behind the amusement park. In this filing cabinet, detailed information on 170 million American tourists is stored. Your location information, your interest preferences, what you have watched, what you like, and who you interact with. What the night watchmen are afraid of is not that these data will be used for commercial advertising, but that according to Chinese law, Beijing may have the power to ask ByteDance to hand over the key to this filing cabinet. What does this mean? This means that a country's massive citizen data may be completely exposed to the view of another geopolitical opponent. This is a potential intelligence gold mine in peacetime, but it may be a fatal weakness in times of conflict. This is the so-called data security threat, and it is also the root cause of the rare consensus between the two parties in Congress to pass a bill requiring TikTok to sell itself or be banned. The law was even signed by former President Biden and recognized by the Supreme Court. If data security is a visible concern, then the second nightmare is more hidden and more deadly. You think you are free to walk around the amusement park and do whatever you want. But the night watchers worry that the mind-reading director is not only serving you, but more likely guiding you. Imagine what would happen if the behind-the-scenes boss of the amusement park could modify the director's instructions at any time. They can make all the rides leading to the criticism headquarters under maintenance so that you can't find them at all. They can amplify the projects that promote the great and bright headquarters, and use all kinds of gorgeous lights and seductive music to attract you unknowingly. They can even quietly push content that affects their voting intentions to specific groups of people during the election, thereby achieving the purpose of manipulating public opinion and politics. You may never notice anything unusual. You still feel happy and still feel that everything is your own choice. But your vision, your emotions, and the opinions you eventually form may all be completed within a carefully designed framework. This is the guided freedom of speech that we are going to discuss at the core. It is fundamentally different from traditional censorship of speech. Traditional censorship is gagging, not letting you speak. you will clearly feel oppressed and deprived. Guided freedom is blindfolding and leading the way. It gives you the right to speak, but controls the material of your speech and the world you see. It is not depriving freedom, but creating an illusion of freedom. This is exactly what Washington believes TikTok poses to democratic society. Well, since the threat is so clear and the law has been passed, Trump, as president, should be the most resolute law enforcer. But what we see is that he personally pressed the pause button. The logic behind this is much more complicated than protecting national security. It is a gamble mixed with political self-interest, commercial interests, and geopolitical power. Trump's calculations have at least 3 levels. 1. Personal political interests calculations. Trump's attitude has taken a 180-degree turn. He tried to ban TikTok during his first term, but last year, he publicly expressed his love for TikTok, claiming that he had a warm heart for it because he believed that the platform helped him win 34 percentage points of support among young people. The deeper reason was pointed out by the media that one of his financial backers owns a considerable stake in TikTok's parent company ByteDance. This is a typical political deal: if you are useful to me, whether it is votes or money, I will give you a green light. The sacred national security instantly became negotiable. 2. Geopolitical bargaining chips. Trump is a businessman president who is accustomed to treating everything as a bargaining chip. The fate of TikTok has been put on the table for trade negotiations with China. Every extension of the ban is a message to Beijing: look, I can make your star company disappear overnight, or I can let it survive. Do you want it to survive? Then make concessions in other areas, such as tariffs. In this big game, TikTok has become a hostage, and its life and death depends on the struggle between China and the United States, not the dignity of the law. 3. The secret operation of commercial interests. Trump has never concealed his preference for specific transactions. He has publicly stated that he would like to see TikTok sold to his longtime ally, Larry Ellison, the founder of Oracle. This leads to a more disturbing speculation: is he waiting for a consortium formed by his own people to take over by constantly extending the deadline? This has turned the whole thing from a national security action into a potential business division tailored for his cronies. So you see, Trump's behavior is essentially a de facto veto of congressional legislation. He used the executive power of the president to override the legislative power to represent public opinion and the judicial power to maintain justice. A legal expert pointedly pointed out, this situation is crazy. The president has essentially abolished a law just because he doesn't like it. His government even sent letters to app store operators and internet hosting companies to ensure that the Department of Justice will not punish them during his postponement of the ban. Now, let's get out of Trump's calculations and return to the most fundamental question: is guided freedom of speech real freedom of speech? My answer is, it is not, and it is more deceptive and dangerous than traditional censorship. We can make a simulation. Real freedom of speech is like a public library. The collection is vast, with books you like and books you hate, books that confirm your views and books that subvert your cognition. The librarian's duty is to ensure the integrity of the books and the convenience of borrowing, but he has no right to decide which book you should read for you. You have all the rights to explore, think independently, and finally form your own opinions in the ocean of information. This is the true meaning of freedom. Guided freedom of speech is like a boutique bookstore. The store manager is polite and the store is beautifully decorated. He recommends a series of books that you will definitely like, based on your dress and past book purchase records. You are very comfortable shopping and happy to buy. But what you don't know is that the store manager has locked the other half of the books he doesn't like in the basement because of his personal preference or the instructions of the boss behind him. You enjoy the convenience of choice, but you lose the right to choose. Your cognitive boundaries are firmly defined by this store manager. The algorithm platform represented by TikTok is just such a boutique bookstore. When the bookstore owner's agenda has nothing to do with your personal interests, it is an efficient entertainment tool. But when it is tied to a powerful national will, it becomes an unprecedented and sophisticated social engineering tool. It can shape the worldview of a generation without knowing it. It can keep certain issues boiling, and it can also keep certain truths from ever seeing the light of day. The most terrifying thing is that most people in it are unaware of it, and even defend this cage that is shaping their thoughts like defending their own freedom. This is the loudest alarm bell that the TikTok incident has sounded to the world. It transcends the dispute between China and the United States, and it is questioning every modern person. What we see on the internet is what the internet wants us to see, and these individuals who think they have independent thoughts are just prey behind the algorithm. When our eyes and brains are increasingly hosted by algorithms, how can we ensure the independence of our souls? To put it more deeply, do we really have free will? Looking ahead, the fate of TikTok remains undecided. Trump's postponement allows the farce to continue. TikTok itself has also shown great confidence. While they are showing the latest AI tools to advertisers in Cannes, France, executives have declared that they are absolutely confident in finding a solution. Any potential transaction requires the approval of the Chinese government, which adds a huge layer of uncertainty to the already complex situation. Some analysts even believe that the ban may never really happen during Trump's term. But whether TikTok is eventually sold, banned, or continues to operate in endless postponements, the challenges of the times it reveals can no longer be avoided. We are standing at a crossroads. On one side is the algorithmic utopia promised by technology giants, which is extremely convenient but may also be manipulated. On the other side is the real, free thought market, nurtured in traditional civilization, which requires us to think and discern. We cannot completely reject the convenience brought by technology because of choking. But we must never naively entrust our freedom of thought to any commercial company or the power behind it. As individuals, we need to cultivate a kind of critical thinking in the digital age. When you are watching short videos, you might as well jump out and ask yourself, is the information I see complete? Is it possible that this platform does not want me to see something? Is my anger, joy, or recognition my spontaneous emotion, or the result of being provoked by the algorithm? As a society, we need to establish new rules. This is not only for TikTok, but also for all technology platforms that have a huge influence on public opinion. We need higher transparency, stronger supervision of the operation of algorithms, and we need to ensure that the difficult but crucial balance between data security and freedom of speech is found. The story of TikTok is far from over. It is not only a mirror of the chaotic politics of the Trump era, but also a big test that human society must face in the digital age. In this test, no one is a bystander. In the face of all this, we should humbly understand the world and critically recognize ourselves. The above is a little information and personal opinion shared with you today. Thank you for your company, and I hope to make progress together.